Tzu Chi sends aid to Indonesia after it suffers a cyclone-like rainstorm which left tens of thousands homeless. Morticians work on bodies of victims of Taroko Express train derailment, helping appease family members. I'm Sean Scanlan. This is DaAi Headlines. Let's get started. Parts of Indonesia suffered damage from a cyclone-like rainstorm, leaving hundreds dead and over 10,000 homeless. Tzu Chi teamed up with the military to send much-needed aid supplies to people desperate for daily necessities. Here's more.
The flood came in hard and fast, submerging a bridge underneath the muddy water. Due to the severe rainstorm and mudslide on April 4th in Indonesia's East Nusa Tenggara, much devastation occurred in over 10 counties in the area. When Tzu Chi Indonesia heard of the disaster, they immediately set out to prepare relief items to send, which includes generator, food, secondhand clothes, blankets, and medicine.
The military ship is heading to Surabaya. It will load the relief items Tzu Chi has prepared, such as rice, noodles, clothes, and medicine. We have first prepared this, then afterwards we might hold a free clinic, as well as check out the scope of the disaster ourselves.
Besides the volunteers busy readying supplies in Jakarta at the site of the disaster, Kupang city of East Nusa Tenggara, employees from Sinar Mas Bank began conducting disaster surveys.
Our first step in relief efforts is to give them the most necessities, such as blankets, candles, and such as the disaster zone doesn't have electricity supplies yet. The volunteers over in Jakarta are preparing relief supplies. With the military's help of transportation, we can conduct a distribution in a few days.
Before the aid supplies from Tzu Chi arrives, Sinar Mas Bank has already taken action to send relief supplies to those in need.
We have received a few hundred sets of aid supplies, like bottled water, food, and medicine. We also have warm blankets for them. We hope to help the victims at this time.
My home's corrugated roof sheets blew away. I need to rebuild my home now. Thank you to the employees of Sinar Mas Bank for bringing us food and water.
Their homes have been destroyed. The victims are helpless in this matter. Tzu Chi volunteers will conduct a proper aid distribution once their supplies arrive to help them rebuild their lives soon.
Ontario, Canada is one of the hotspots for COVID. Tzu Chi North Toronto volunteers, after receiving a request from a domestic violence shelter, rushed to purchase supplies such as pillows and quilts before a shelter-in-place order was enforced. Let's take a look. The temperature outside is only 1 degree Celsius. Tzu Chi volunteers hurried to aid the residents in a domestic violence shelter, going to the hypermarket to buy 40 sets of pillows and quilts. A number of young people also seized this opportunity to help.
They were packaging these twin-size blankets as well as these pillows, and we will be giving it to those who are suffering from domestic violence, so specifically to the Yellow Brick House. I'm a university student, and April is a time when a lot of exams are coming up, but it's very important to grasp our time and to help those in need.
Everyone worked together to organize supplies and brought 2 boxes of environmentally friendly blankets to a domestic violence shelter in Yorkshire.
It's not so heavy because that's pillows. That's great. Honestly, blankets and things like that, they're so helpful because we try to send them out with the women so that way wherever they go, they have more items. So things like this, when it gets chilly again, unexpectedly, they work great for us. And all the women and kids being able to have their own and not having to share, it's really helpful.
Although the COVID pandemic hasn't slowed down, cold temperatures did not slow the work of these volunteers who rushed to bring warmth and comfort to these women in need. In Northern California, after the Camp Fire in 2018, many survivors still have no permanent homes. There's a low-income single mother whose house is only partially damaged, yet is in bad condition and beyond repair. Volunteers helped her apply for subsidies for her to buy a camping trailer to live in temporarily. Here's more.
I bought this, 5 years ago and fixed it all up, put everything I had into it, and then the fire came through and just took it all. Like all the work I'd done to it is gone. There's nothing on this is repairable now. Most of the funding that first came out after the fire, it didn't applicable to me because I was partially burnt. I wasn't able to get it. It's hard. It's even harder now because there's no more funding really out there.
In terms of living in it, it's really bad. It's heavily molded, very strong smell the moment you walk in. The roof leaks, which is causing the mold since the fire. She had embers blown from the trees. The whole back of her house caught fire.
So now we just pray and hope that something comes in and help.
It feels really good to know that we're doing something great. It's been a great trailer for us. It's had many, many memories, those you can't take away. We're hoping that this gives her great memories also, and more so safety, a safe environment to live and raise her family. We know that it's going to a great cause, and at the end of the day, it was also a calling. I'm a firm believer in giving back. So for me, that I think it was fate.
Well, good.
You're so welcome.
In Thailand, a company that manufactures sanitary products also dedicates itself to public welfare. The company representative has contacted Tzu Chi Thailand chapter, donating 90 boxes of sanitary products. They also sent 4 employees who followed Tzu Chi volunteers on home visits to deliver the supplies to care recipients. Take a look.
With love, a company has taken action. A sanitary product manufacturing company has donated 90 boxes of sanitary products.
Whether it is seniors or children, we can help them so their lives can be improved. This is something that our company wants to carry out.
Hearing is nothing compared to witnessing. 4 company employees have followed city volunteers to conduct home visits and listen to care recipients.
When I go out, I must wear diapers. When I go to the restroom, it is harder and inconvenient than most people. Whether it is going to a hospital for dialysis or medical treatment, I feel it's more convenient using diapers.
Now that we have received these diapers, our financial burdens can be lessened. We have saved expenses so we can go buy groceries. I want to thank Tzu Chi and thank everyone for their donations.
Adults' diapers for paralyzed patients or diapers for infants are a practical gift for them. I think as my company is able to give these products to care recipients through Tzu Chi volunteers' hands, it's truly contributing to society.
The smiles on patients' faces when they're surrounded by love are the most beautiful thing.
Morticians associated with the Taroko Express derailment uphold the most humane and conscientious way to restore the remains of the victims. Their dedication and hard work has provided comfort for families and friends of the victims during their time of need. Take a look.
Members of the Morticians group bent down with the most sincere heart to restore the remains of the victims. They were so busy that one of them even forgot his birthday. His birthday wish was that family members of the deceased could be comforted after viewing their beloved ones.
When it was time to confirm the identity of their beloved, what they saw was actually beyond recognition. Then our members would restore the remains so that the family could recognize the deceased even though it was 3 meters away.
Although the Morticians group convener Tzu Chi has once gone astray, he hopes to share his own experience with others so that they can see the world from a different perspective.
My initial aspiration is to treat these suffering people or people in need with our whole heart and see the victims as our own relatives.
After the tragedy, in addition to providing multifunction beds for the Morticians to take a rest, Tzu Chi also mobilized a medical team to care for their health at the funeral home. The Morticians' selfless dedication touched everyone at the site.
They didn't want to leave, but just had a nap when tired and carried on restoration work again.
Restoring the remains with their whole heart and treating the victims as close relatives, the Morticians' sincere dedication has comforted the injured hearts of the deceased families.
Former Taiwan representative to Turkey, Yazir Chung, and current Turkey's ambassador to Taiwan, Mohammed Berdebek, with the companionship of Turkey Tzu Chi volunteers, paid a visit to Dharma Master Zheng Yan in Hualien. They thanked the Master and Tzu Chi for their efforts to help people in Yemen, Syria, Iraq, and Jordan. Take a look.
很难就是极致的慈爱、极致的博爱跟大爱。很难，这也是真主的属性，慈爱跟大方。
Former Taiwan's representative to Turkey, Yazir Chung, brought a sacred piece of the Kiswa for Dharma Master Zheng Yan. On the covering, the Quran verses has been embroidered with gold and silver thread. The meanings of the words are very similar to Tzu Chi's generous love.
In the past 7 years, I've seen Tzu Chi over there helping Syrian refugees. This offering of help is such an expression of Taiwan's generosity. I wanted to express my sincerest gratitude and the appreciation of the Master's grace.
Tzu Chi has planted deep roots in Turkey, caring for Syrian refugees. From charity work to education to medical services and even humanitarian services. This love, which crosses religious boundaries, has Turkey's ambassador to Taiwan greatly moved.
We built many schools, and one of them is Tzu Chi Foundation built that school. So we came to visit the Master, so we thanks to him about her contribution and this foundation contribution to Turkey and Syrian refugees.
No matter what religion one's belief is, love is the common language.
有觉悟的人才能呢展开了大爱，爱世人，这都是可尊敬。世间更需要很多超越的人来看这个世间的人事物，爱心才能被启动起来。
No matter the religion or country, the same compassion can be found as people help the disadvantaged.
Tzu Chi Pingdong chapter has been established for 30 years. Recently, Dharma Master Zheng Yan held a video conference with senior volunteers, expressing her appreciation for their dedication and hard work. Here's more.
On April 12, 1991, Tzu Chi Pingdong chapter was inaugurated. It has been around for 30 years.
It was inaugurated in 1991. After its opening, Tzu Chi brothers from Tainan, Kaohsiung, and Pingdong take on the night shifts at the office.
Dharma Master Zheng Yan, located in Hualien's Jingsi abode, had a video conference with Tzu Chi Pingdong chapter senior volunteers from Tainan, Kaohsiung, and Pingdong, recalling the history.
In the past, I was very impatient. After following the Master, I learned that things cannot be rushed.
I look at things differently. The best explanation is that I'm able to let go.
30年以上咯，咱的道心啊，真坚固。师徒呢，爱发的愿就是生生世世要为人间付出。
在苦难中张扬慈悲。
Volunteers have given of themselves in the aftermath of Typhoon Morakot, construction of Baihe Tribe, and Project Hope of disaster risk reduction, gaining much joy.
Only in large organizations are there situations dealing with people for us to learn from.
This path is very good. I will walk this path life after life.
The establishment of Tzu Chi Pingdong chapter has allowed Tzu Chi's footprints of love to spread from eastern Taiwan to western Taiwan. Although many volunteers have aged, they still uphold their initial aspiration to walk the Bodhisattva path.
33-year-old single mother Bok Lai Kwan lives in Butterworth, Malaysia. 5 years ago, she was diagnosed with sinus cancer, but she fought it bravely, even selling cakes in a local market. During her cancer treatments, Tzu Chi volunteers began to care for her and inspired her to undertake training for certification. Here's more.
In 2016, around April or May, I found a bump on my neck. After biopsy, doctors said it was cancer. For the sake of our families, we can't give up. We must persevere, because only in doing so can you see the light at the end.
Enduring the discomfort of washing her nasal passage, Bok Lai Kwan was diagnosed with nasopharyngeal carcinoma when she was 28. During her cancer treatment, she had to do this every day.
I had completed my cancer treatment, but I was still very weak and couldn't begin working, so I didn't have an income. My former co-worker knew of my situation and helped me apply for a Tzu Chi subsidy during that time. The first time I received the financial help for medical fees, I was so moved that I cried on site. I remember Sister Shok Im hugging me.
She's a strong person who faces life with energy. She lets us know that she wants to expand her business, as that way she can be financially independent. We try to help as much as possible because it's easy to solve the poverty problem. With her finances in a row and she can support herself, then the problem is solved. When she needs something, she'll think of us and ask us for help.
Since the disease has happened, we shouldn't run away from it. We should face it with positivity. It's only if we receive treatment that we can heal and get healthy. I only rested for 1 month, then I got right back into work because my family needs the income. So I quickly got the supplies and got right back to work. I think helping someone is not a bad thing. I hope through my own stories I can tell them not to give up treatment. Don't give up hope. If you don't give up, then there is always a road to success.
Having fought cancer for 5 years now, on this day, Bok Lai Kwan is using her life story to encourage others like her to reciprocate the care she has received.
In January this year, Tzu Chi encountered Ah Yong, a person with mental disorders, at Gong Liao Free Clinic. He lived alone without running water for many years. His home was quite messy. And in March, volunteers mobilized to not only help him clean, but also install water pipes, which allowed him to get running water from a neighbor's house. In this village, Ah Yong is a person who lives without running tap water.
Ah Yong usually doesn't have a good relationship with other people. No one in the community is very willing to help provide water for him.
Ah Yong suffers from a mental disorder and his neighbors stay away from him. In order to help him find water, Tzu Chi volunteers ask for help.
At first, I saw a layer of oil floating in the well water, and I saw a rash on his body. So I don't think that his well water is good enough. During the second visit, I revisited, but I still found no one wanting to provide tap water.
Finally, there is Mr. Ah Zong. He saw how passionate we were about making this happen, that he was willing to help us.
Finally, a neighbor is willing to lend a helping hand. Chen Zhengde is a professional plumber and electrician, did much more than just installing water pipes.
Because this place has been without water for a long time. It hasn't been used for a long time, so it has been in disrepair for a long time, and a lot of things are broken.
The toilet in the bathroom has been refurbished. The electric light on the ceiling has not been on for a long time. Now it has been replaced with a new one. The water heater outside is also brand new, as this old house now has hot and cold water available.
I am happy as it was done so fast. Now I don't have to worry about using water.
Tzu Chi also replaced the old washing machine with a new one. At the beginning, Ayong insisted on not allowing anyone to touch it, even if this old machine was unusable.
The whole cleaning was very thorough, and now there is even a washing machine in there. He didn't let us clean up before, but when the water came today, I talked to him again about it, and he finally agreed.
Ayong is no longer stubborn, and his neighbors are no longer indifferent to him, as this running water, along with love, is now flowing throughout the small village.
Tzu Chi care recipient Mr. Wu is a stroke survivor living with his father. Due to his disability, he is quite immobile and isn't able to do basic chores such as cleaning his home. Tzu Chi volunteers were concerned about his condition and recently paid a visit to him with the intention of cleaning his home.
50-year-old Mr. Wu had a stroke in 2013, suffering movement difficulties. He lives with his 86-year-old father. As their home piled up more furniture and unneeded items, the village chief reported his case to Tzu Chi.
After I suffered the stroke, I've received much help from you. I am very grateful. Now I can do rehabilitation without having to worry about money. Now you're here to help clean up. You have helped me a lot.
In an old apartment building without an elevator, large furniture has to be transported through creative ways.
Our Tzu Chi brothers are quite old, and it's hard for one person to directly carry the furniture down, and the same goes if two people did it. If we use bulk bags to carry the items like a backpack, it's easier to go downstairs.
The care recipient's apartment doesn't have an elevator, therefore we have to carry everything from the 4th floor to the 1st floor manually. It was very exhausting, but everyone tried their best and never complained. I am thankful for their hard work.
Besides removing unused furniture, volunteers also helped the family of 2 mop the floors, creating a cleaner space to live in.
Originally, the care recipient said that we don't have to clean the floor for them. He'll do it on his own. But you know, we are very passionate people, so we took the initiative and mopped the floor for him. He was very moved.
After 2 hours, with the help of around 30 Tzu Chi volunteers, the home is now clean as volunteers wanted to see the father and son live in a more comfortable environment.
Tzu Chi Tainan Kindergarten held a special blessing ceremony for victims of the Taroko Express derailment using prayer to allay the hearts of survivors and their families. We leave you with these images. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.